Hi everyone, I'm JD. Welcome back to my channel. Alright, so I thought just in this video I would share kind of how I adapt journals for me. I kind of shared this in a previous video where I went through the journal from Creative Thoughts and I took out every single bit of ephemera, and then I had a journal just for writing in and a stack of ephemera to journal with. So this journal is one of my wedding dress journals. I actually kept this one for myself, so I pulled it out of my shop. With my absolute favourite journal collections, I tend to keep one for me. So hang on just one sec. So for example, this one from the Fairy Tale journal collection. This was one of my all-time favourite journal collections that I made, and I pulled this one out and kept it for me. And I also made a set of linen journals in this same style with this type of cover that I made myself from scratch. And I just pulled this one out, and this is one that I'm going to keep for me. So that was another one of my all-time favorite journal collections that I did. And then this one, I really loved the wedding dress journal collection. I think just because of the lace or the applique and the sparkles, the sequins. It's so beautiful. It spoke to me and I just love it. It's just beautiful. The cover, it's all about the cover. These three covers I just love. This one's significant for me because it came from Gina from the Firefly Studio, and I just love the vintage look to it. Vintage is my favorite style, so I love that. So, and they're all quite different. So this is made out of a book cover, this one made from scratch, and this is a soft cover journal that I also made from scratch. But yeah, I thought I'd just kind of share the kind of journals that I keep and how I have adapted this one for me to use it. If you remember this collection, I'll link it below where I did a flip through. They were concept journals and they were quite full of ephemera. So for me, to make it a journal for me, I went through it and took out a lot of the ephemera. I kept a few pieces in just for fun, and because if I really liked it and it spoke to me, I kept it in. I swapped out some of the postcards, swapped out some things to put more in that I like, that actually speak to me. So for example, I put in this postcard. So some of the original postcards that I got from my vintage collection, I will be keeping. I don't think I will part with these ones just because they're my all-time favorites. So this is the one that's in the middle, in the cover. And then I've got a few other postcards, originals, that I'll be keeping in this journal too. So as we open it up, I love this image so much. It's actually a free printable, I think from Tsunami Rose, but don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure. I got it ages and ages ago. So I love that and how it pairs with this cover. I just love the jewels, the tiara. Yep, I do love sparkles. I love the guest checks, so I kept in most of the vintage stuff that speaks to me, my favourite items, and of course anything that I've stapled in I've had to keep in there. But that's cool because I can flip it up and all that kind of stuff, and it's just little decorations here and there to go with the wedding dress theme. And of course it's the blue one too, so this was my favourite of the wedding dress collection, so I used the blue for it. I don't think I would have kept a different one if this sold and a different one was in the shop. I don't think I would have kept it. And so this is one of my original postcards, and I love it because there's a dog. Dogs are like one of my favourite things in the entire world, and it's got blue flowers, so that's one of my symbols. So I don't think I'll ever part with that. I say I don't think because you never know. I might just get to a point where I'm just like, stop hoarding. Vintage ledger paper for more writing space. I might actually take that out, to be honest. Same with this. I think I'll just take that out. That's stuck on, so I can't take that off, but I probably would take that off if I could because it takes up so much writing space. But it's all good. This one I'm happy with because I love the sparkles on it, and it's only little. So lots and lots of writing space. I just got a Rolodex card here. I might take that out. Again, I would take this out too, but you know, it's pretty. I'm not too fussed if it's there. Here's another original postcard that I'm keeping. I love that dress. I fell in love with that dress and her silver shoes. So pretty. And I can journal on the back of that myself. What have we got here? Oh, yeah, I'll probably take that out too. Love this piece here. That's so pretty. So delicate. I love this tally card. I don't know. It just reminds me of Amity Bloom. I love the pastel colours. And this charm, I kept this charm here because it's one of my favourite charms. This is from that vintage grammar book, so I probably will keep that there because of the significance of it. My op shop finds. So I thought this journal would be for including all my vintage finds and my favourite vintage types of pieces. So the tally card, the vintage image, guest check is one of my favourite supplies. Vintage ledger paper, that's why I did keep it in here, because vintage ledger paper is one of my favourite supplies. So that's what I thought it would be, like a little hallmark or a little keepsake, what am I trying to say, a little treasure chest of my favourite supplies in more of the vintage theme. So again, I just kept some of my favourite vintage printables in here. I kept the key because I love keys. It's one of my favourite charms. So yeah, this is like a journal of my favourite things. I'm actually going to swap this out for a different tea card. My favourite tea card, or one of my favourite tea cards. I'll swap it for a different Blue Butterfly one. This vintage vintage graph paper from Denise, so I'll probably keep that one there. I forgot to mention this one was from the op shop, the vintage grammar book, so that's why it's special, significant to me. Is when I can source it myself from the op shop. It's just, I don't know, the original. I don't know, it just speaks to me. And so there's lots of journaling space, lots of pages. I just love the neutral look, so I can embellish it myself. Here's another original postcard that I am keeping. So beautiful. And then this beautiful piece here, isn't that gorgeous? A lot of these came from Bonnie and Clive. So thank you so much, Bonnie. Again, this came from Bonnie and Clive, one of my favourite pieces of laces. And I thought I'd just keep the stamp tag in here because I do want to have a memory of my stamp tags. I don't usually include them in my own journals because they're bulky, but if I have just one journal like this one, this can be a bit bulkier because it's recording my favourite supplies, my favourite embellishments that I make. And I love this piece here. So pretty. And because, you know, it's got the blue lace, some beautiful blue trims. I love that flower there. Iridescent blue buttons. So I just love it. And then this one here, I love this postcard too, so I'm keeping this one. And then over here, I don't know, I might keep this in here just for fun, just for a bit of interest. It's a picture, negatives of my house where I grew up. So I thought that might be sweet to put in there just for fun. This is one of my vintage buys as well. So I thought I'd just keep that there to document that. And this was actually stuck on the page. This is from Tina. So I just thought I'd keep that in there. More vintage ledger paper. And this is the original from my sister-in-law's grandma's receipt book. And this one I scanned the front cover of it and put it in here. So that's pretty special. Now the printable, and then back here I've kept the glassine bag. And I've just kept this image here. There was a whole bunch of ephemera in here in the other journals, but this is the only one I kept. And to be honest, I might part with this as well, but I just put it in there because I love the teal and the blue. Those colour tones just really spoke to me, and that's why I put it in there. But who knows, I might part with that as well. So yeah, that's just kind of a look at how I've adapted the journal for me and some of my thoughts around how I might use it, just documenting vintage finds, my favourite style, my favourite embellishments, and that kind of thing. So let me know what you think of that idea. Or do you have a different suggestion of how I should use it or something like that? But yeah, I thought I'll share that as well, just in case it inspires you to Find your own style of how you like to use a journal, and maybe you want to use a journal like this, I don't know. And to not be afraid of taking things out, moving things around, swapping things out when you get a journal or when you make a journal for yourself, because it's a journal for you. It's a very personal thing. You know how it's going to speak to you. You know how you want to use it, and don't be afraid to change it up and make it suit you. So that's what I did with this journal. Yeah, I added a lot of postcards, took a lot of things out, swapped some things around, and now I feel like it's a journal for me. Before it was just, no, that's not a journal for me. The cover was, but there was way too many embellishments in there. So now it's nice and thin, and I can bulk it out a bit more if I want to when I add all my favourite pieces. So when I go to Melbourne and I hit the op shops and antique and vintage shops, I might come back to Bowen and have a new little set of supplies to add to this journal. So that shall be fun. Anyway, so hope that was kind of a fun video, and let me know what you think. And yeah, how do you like to use your journals? Do you like it fully embellished, not embellished? How do you like to adapt them for you? I would love to know. So thanks guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!